I never thought a simple text could unravel everything I believed about family. It pinged through on a scorching Tuesday afternoon, while I was juggling laundry and trying to keep the kids from melting in the Arizona heat. From my sister, Sarah, if you're around, swing by the ranch this weekend for the barbecue.
No entusiasm.
No mention of the nieces and nephews dying to see my little ones. Just a flat invite that felt more like an afterthought than a welcome. I stared at it, the screen blurring under the relentless sun filtering through the blinds. Why did it sting so much? Deep down, I knew Sarah and I had always been oil and water. Her the golden child who could do no wrong. Me the one who scraped by, making do with hand-me-downs and half-hearted nods from our parents. I didn't reply right away. Instead, I paced the kitchen, my mind racing through old wounds. Remember that time in high school when she forgot to tell me about the family trip to the Grand Canyon? Or how Mom always praised her rodeo wins while brushing off my quiet achievements in community college? I told myself to let it go, to focus on my own life now, my two kids, Emily and Jack, who lit up my world like desert stars.
But hope is a stubborn thing.
Maybe this time, I whispered to myself. She means it. By evening, Emily tugged at my sleeve. Mom, are we going to Aunt Sarah's? I want to show her my new drawing of the cactus flowers. Jack nodded, his toy truck forgotten in his lap. Their innocence sealed it. I texted back, sounds good. Can I bring potato salad? The one with the family recipe.
Scene.
No reply. The silence gnawed at me all night, twisting in my gut like a bad dream. The next day, I let the kids pick out small gifts for their cousins, a handmade bracelet for one, a puzzle for the other. I wrapped them with care, adding little notes that said, "From your cousins with love." Then I dug out the quilt I'd been piecing together for months. Meant for Sarah's birthday, but never given. It's not perfect, I thought, running my fingers over the stitches, each one a silent plea for connection. But I packed it anyway, folding it neatly into the bag. By Friday, the weather reports were buzzing about a rare dust storm rolling in from the west, the kind that turns the sky orange and chokes the air. I sent one more message. Still on for Saturday? Let me know if plans change. Nothing. I took it as a green light. Or maybe just denial. Saturday dawned hot and hazy. I loaded the old SUV with water bottles,
Snacks.
and the potato salad wrapped in a cooler. The kids buckled in, excited chatter filling the car as we hit the highway toward the family ranch in rural New Mexico. 7 hours of driving lay ahead, through arid plains and winding canyons. Midway, the storm hit, winds whipping sand against the windows, visibility dropping to near zero. My knuckles whitened on the wheel, heart pounding as I navigated the blurred road. Why am I doing this? The question echoed in my mind, louder than the howling gusts. For the kids? For some illusion of family unity? Or because turning back felt like admitting defeat? I glanced in the rearview at Emily's wide eyes, Jack dozing peacefully. Almost there, I murmured, more to convince myself than them. We pulled up to the ranch as the sun dipped low, casting long shadows over the adobe walls and the corral where horses nickered softly. Dust clung to everything, including us as we stepped out. Emily clutched my hand, Jack rubbing his eyes. The driveway was packed with trucks and jeeps, but the prime spot near the door was taken by a shiny black pickup with vanity plates. Queen one. I parked down the dirt road, the wheels kicking up more grit. By the time we reached the porch, my arms ached from carrying the cooler and gifts, and Emily's ponytail was unraveling. Laughter spilled from inside, mingled with the sizzle of barbecue and country music. But no one greeted us at the door. It stood ajar, Inviting yet indifferent. I pushed it open, stepping into the foyer, where boots were lined up and hats hung on pegs. The air smelled of smoked brisket and apple pie, comforting, if not for the knot in my stomach. A seating chart tacked to the wall listed names for the long picnic tables outside: Sarah, her husband Tom, their kids, Aunt Linda, Uncle Ray, even distant cousins.
No me. No Emily.
No Jack. A stranger in a cowboy hat glanced over. You with someone? He asked, sipping beer. Before I could explain, he wandered off. Emily whispered, Mom, where do we sit? I swallowed hard, forcing a smile. We'll find a spot, sweetie. But inside, doubt flooded me. Was this a mistake? Had I read too much into that text? We hung our jackets on an overflowing rack, the quilt peeking from the bag like a forgotten promise. In the kitchen, Sarah bustled about, apron tied, laughing with the group. Our eyes met, or I thought they did, but she turned away, focusing on slicing watermelon. My chest tightened. She saw me, I thought, the realization hitting like a dry wind. Cousin Zoe brushed past, flashing a quick smile that didn't reach her eyes. Didn't expect you in this storm, she said, almost under her breath. Sarah figured you wouldn't make it. I shifted the cooler, offering it weakly. No one took it. Laughter erupted from the yard, toasts ringing out. Jack tugged my sleeve.
I'm hungry.
I led them outside, where tables groaned under platters, but every chair seemed claimed. We ended up on a bench at the edge, plates balanced on knees, feeling like intruders at our own blood's gathering. As the evening wore on, the exclusions sank deeper. No one asked about the kids' school or my job at the local clinic. Aunt Linda walked by without a glance, ushering Sarah's twins to the dessert spread. Emily tried to join, but was gently steered away by another mom with a polite, "The kids are playing over there." I watched, my mind swirling. Why? What did I do to deserve this? Memories flashed, helping pay for Sarah's wedding when times were tight, driving Mom to doctor's appointments without complaint. Yet here I was, invisible. The quilt sat untouched in the gift pile. Sarah glanced at it once, then moved on. My daughter made something similar in art class, she told a guest, laughing. The words pierced me. I made that for you, I thought, tears pricking my eyes. But I held them back, for the kids' sake. By nightfall, as stars dotted the vast western sky, Emily's excitement had faded. Why don't they talk to us? She asked softly. I hugged her close, whispering, sometimes people get busy. But inside, anger simmered, not hot rage, but a cold clarity. This wasn't accidental. It was deliberate, a quiet way to push me out. As we drove home through the clearing night, the kids asleep in the back, I gripped the wheel tighter. No more, I vowed silently. No more chasing shadows of belonging. The desert stretched endless, mirroring the emptiness I felt, but also the space to rebuild. The drive back was quieter than the storm we'd braved, the kids' soft breaths the only sound piercing my racing thoughts. Why had I subjected us to that? For a sliver of approval from a family that treated me like a footnote? Sarah's indifference replayed in my mind, the way she'd avoided my gaze. The seating chart that screamed exclusion. It wasn't just hurt, it was betrayal, deep and familiar, like an old scar torn open. I thought of our childhood on that same ranch, me trailing after her, always the little sister trying to measure up. She'd shine in rodeos, while I'd tend the horses, my efforts praised only in passing. Sarah's the star, Mom would say. And I'd swallow it, believing one day I'd earn my place. By morning, the dust had settled outside our modest house in Phoenix.
But not in me.
Emily woke with questions. Did Aunt Sarah like my drawing? I hesitated, then lied softly. She was busy, but I'm sure she did. Jack played oblivious, but Emily's eyes held doubt. I busied myself with breakfast, but my mind churned. Should I confront Sarah? Text her the pain she'd caused?
No.
That would invite more dismissal.
Instead,
I opened my phone, scrolling through photos from the night, the empty spots at the table, the gift pile where my quilt lay ignored, a blurry shot of the seating chart missing our names. My finger hovered over the share button. What if I post this? The idea terrified me, yet liberated. In the West, we pride ourselves on rugged independence, but silence had been my cage too long. I typed a caption, drove 7 hours through a dust storm for family, only to find no seat at the table. Sometimes blood isn't thicker than indifference. I added the photos, hit post on social media. My heart pounded as likes trickled in, friends from work, old neighbors. Then comments, that's heartbreaking. You deserve better. A distant cousin messaged, I saw how they treated you at gatherings. Sorry I never said anything. The validation washed over me like rain in the desert, unexpected and life-giving. But guilt crept in too. Was this revenge?
no.
I told myself. It's truth. In America, we have freedom of speech. And this was my story, factual. No lies. Just the raw ache of exclusion. Legally, it was clean, no defamation. Just personal experience shared. Sarah's response came fast, a private message. Take that down. You're twisting things. Twisting? The word ignited fury. I'm showing what happened, I replied. We weren't welcome. Silence again. But the post gained traction. A local blogger reposted it, tagging it as a tale of family dynamics in the modern West. Notifications buzzed, strangers sharing similar stories of being sidelined by kin. My brother did the same at Thanksgiving, one wrote. Posting helped me heal. Emily noticed my distraction. What's wrong? Mom. I sat her down. Sometimes family hurts us without meaning to, or maybe they do. But we can choose kindness anyway. Her nod was solemn, stirring protectiveness in me. I wouldn't let this poison her view of love. Days blurred into a whirlwind. Work at the clinic kept me grounded, helping patients with minor ailments, listening to their woes. But inside, conflict raged. Part of me regretted the post.
Ferimi de Burnett Bridges.
Another part felt free, unburdened from pretending. Then came the box on my doorstep, no label. But I recognized Sarah's handwriting on the packing slip inside. It held the gifts we'd brought. Untouched, the bracelet, the puzzle, even the quilt, folded as if never seen. No note. The rejection hit harder than words. A silent, we don't want your offerings. Tears came then, hot and unbidden.
Why?
I whispered to the empty room. Memories flooded, bailing Sarah out of a bad loan years ago, using my savings, organizing Mom's funeral when no one else stepped up. I'd given so much, asked for so little.
Jack found me crying, his small arms wrapping around me.
Don't be sad,
Mom.
I hugged him back, vowing to shield them better. That night, I journaled furiously. Family should be a safety net, not a noose. Why do I keep reaching for threads that cut? The words poured out, raw emotions I'd buried under duty. Meanwhile, whispers reached me. Sarah had lost a volunteer spot at the community center, her image as the perfect hostess tarnished. A mutual friend called. She's upset, saying you exaggerated. I didn't defend myself, The truth stood on its own. But empathy flickered. Sarah had her struggles too. Widowed young. Raising kids alone. Maybe her coldness stemmed from her own pain, lashing out at the easy target, me. As the week wore on, the post's ripple effects deepened my introspection. Am I becoming what I hate? I wondered, staring at the ceiling. Revenge felt hollow. I craved resolution, not ruin. Emily drew a picture of us three under a big sun. No aunts or uncles.
This is our family, she said.
Her words pierced me, innocent yet profound. I realized the lesson emerging. Forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's choosing peace over poison. I messaged Sarah. I didn't post to hurt you. I posted because I was hurting. Can we talk? No reply, but the seed was planted. In the vast western landscape, grudges can linger like dust, but so can grace. For the first time, I felt the weight lifting, replaced by tentative hope, not for reconciliation, but for my own healing. The silence from Sarah stretched like the endless highways of the Southwest, empty and echoing. 2 weeks post-party, and my phone remained quiet from her end, though the world buzzed around me. Friends dropped by with casseroles, their hugs carrying unspoken support. You're brave, one said. Brave? I felt exposed.
Raw.
Like skin after a sunburn. Nights brought relentless inner turmoil. Did I go too far? What if the kids suffer from this rift? Jack's innocent questions. When can we see cousins? Twisted the knife. I held him close, murmuring, soon, maybe, while doubting it inside. Emily sensed more, her drawings shifting to solitary figures in vast deserts, mirroring my isolation. One evening, as the sun set in fiery oranges over the cacti,
A knock startled me.
it was Uncle Ray,
Hut and Hunt?
looking weathered like the old ranch fences. Can we talk? He asked, voice gruff but kind. We sat on the porch, the air cooling. Sarah's struggling, he admitted. Lost that church committee role, folks saw your post. Guilt surged, but he continued. But you were right. We've all seen how she's treated you. Jealousy. Maybe. From when you left for college while she stayed behind. His words unlocked memories, Sarah resenting my escape from ranch life. Me feeling guilty for pursuing nursing. Family's complicated, he sighed. But blood's blood. I nodded, tears welling. It shouldn't mean erasure. He left with a hug, planting seeds of understanding in my stormy mind. That night, dreams haunted me, reliving the party, but this time screaming my pain. Waking, sweat-soaked, I confronted the mirror. You deserve to be seen, I told my reflection. The post had empowered others, messages poured in from women across the West, sharing tales of sibling rivalries, in-law exclusions. Your story gave me courage to set boundaries, one wrote. It fueled me, yet amplified my conflict. Empowerment for me meant fallout for her. Legally, I was clear, free expression protected my words, but morally, I pondered the humane path. Revenge corrodes the soul. I journaled, fingers flying. What if I extend an olive branch? Not for her, but for me? The next day brought a surprise, a voicemail from Mom. Hope you're all right, she said tersely.
No apology.
Just vague concern, like checking weather. It stung, reminding me of her favoritism, always defending Sarah, dismissing my feelings as oversensitive. Anger flared. Why can't you see me? But beneath it, pity stirred. Mom was aging, alone on the ranch fringes, clinging to illusions of unity. I didn't call back, choosing space. Instead, I focused on the kids, taking them to a local fair, Their laughter a bomb. Emily won a stuffed horse. Jack cotton candy. Best day ever, they chorused. In that moment, joy pierced the drama, reminding me family could be rebuilt
piece by piece.
Yet turmoil escalated inside. A friend forwarded Zoe's social media rant. Some people air dirty laundry to play victim. Subtle digs at me. Hurt morphed to rage. How dare she? Then to sorrow.
Zoe.
Sarah's shadow always echoed her cruelty. I resisted responding. Breathing deep. Their words don't define me. But the emotional weight pressed heavier. Tears flowing freely now. I've lost them, I sobbed alone. The realization crashing like thunder. Not just Sarah, but the dream of wholeness. Journal entries grew frantic. Pain isn't a competition. Hers doesn't erase mine. But maybe understanding hers softens the edges.
Midweek.
I drove to a quiet canyon overlook, wind whipping my hair. There, amid red rocks, clarity dawned. This isn't about winning, I thought. It's about healing. I messaged Sarah again. I forgive the hurt. Let's meet halfway. Hours later, her reply, what's there to forgive? You caused this. Defensiveness. But a crack, she engaged. Empathy bloomed. Perhaps her coldness masked insecurity. Fear of vulnerability in our tough Western culture. I didn't push, letting it simmer. Back home, Emily confided, I miss Aunt Sarah, but I like our family better. Her words,
so pure,
deepened my resolve. The drama's intensity mounted. Emotions rawer than before, grief for what was, hope for what could be. In this storm, I found strength not in retaliation, but in quiet compassion, a light emerging through the cracks. The emotional torrent built relentlessly, each day layering sorrow upon sorrow, hope flickering like a candle in wind. 3 weeks in, and Sarah's silence evolved into subtle barbs, mutual friends relaying her victim narrative. She's saying you overreacted, one whispered. It gutted me. Reopening wounds, I thought, scabbed. Why twist my truth? I agonized inwardly, pacing the house at midnight. Memories assaulted. Childhood slights. Like Sarah claiming my rodeo ribbon as hers, adult dismissals. Ignoring my divorce struggles while flaunting her stability. Tears streamed. Unchecked now. As grief consumed. I gave everything, I whispered to the dark. For what? A package arrived anonymously, groceries, my favorite green chili salsa. Fresh tortillas. Kids' snacks. No note. But Mom's touch. It cracked my armor, evoking pity mingled with rage. Gestures instead of words, I thought bitterly. Typical. Yet it stirred longing for reconciliation, not revenge. I journaled feverishly. Pain echoes in generations. Mom's favoritism birthed Sarah's entitlement. My invisibility. Breaking the cycle means choosing differently. The words trembled on the page. Emotions peaking in cathartic release. Confrontation loomed when Uncle Ray called. Sarah wants to talk. Neutral ground, the old diner off Highway 40. My heart raced, fear. Anticipation swirling. What if it's more hurt? But refusal meant stagnation. I agreed. Driving there alone. Desert blurring past. She sat in a booth. Coffee untouched. Eyes averted. You humiliated me, she started. Voice sharp. Defensiveness armored her. But cracks showed, trembling hands, weary lines. I drove through hell for you, I countered softly. Only to be erased.
Silencio.
Heavy. Then, haltingly, I was overwhelmed. Didn't think you'd come. Lies? Or truth veiled? Empathy surged. We both hurt. From Mom's shadow.
Dad's absence.
Tears fell, hers too. I envied your freedom, she admitted. Stuck on the ranch. While you build a life. The dam broke. We talked for hours, grievances aired. Not weaponized.
No instant fix.
But understanding dawned. I'm sorry, she whispered finally. The words, simple, unlocked floods of relief. Driving home, sobs racked me, not from pain, but release. Forgiveness isn't weakness, I realized. It's reclaiming power. Emily greeted me. You okay?
Mom.
I hugged her fiercely. Better than okay. That night, emotions crested higher, gratitude overwhelming grief, a profound shift toward humanity. We met again, this time with kids. Awkward at first, but laughter broke through, Jack chasing cousins, Emily sharing drawings. Sarah unwrapped the quilt belatedly. It's beautiful. Thank you.
No dramatics.
Just quiet mending. I posted an update. Healing starts with truth. Grateful for second chances. Responses flooded, affirming the humane path. Inside, peace settled, deeper than before. The lesson crystallized in the West's vastness. Holding grudges isolates, extending grace connects. Emotions, once stormy, now flowed like a gentle river, nourishing rather than drowning. The emotional crescendo peaked in waves of profound catharsis, each revelation stripping away layers of resentment, revealing raw vulnerability beneath. A month later, the ranch barbecue redux, Sarah's invite genuine this time. Come early. Help with setup. I arrived, kids in tow, heart pounding with residual fear. But she hugged me tight. Real. Glad you're here, she murmured. Tears pricked. Forgiveness wasn't linear. But this felt like progress. We worked side by side, chopping veggies, sharing stories. Remember Dad's tall tales? She laughed. Nostalgia bridged gaps, emotion surging, joy laced with lingering sorrow for lost years. The gathering unfolded differently. Our names on the chart. Seats at the head table. Cousins played inclusively. Emily beamed. Yet inside, turmoil lingered. Is this real? Doubts whispered. But actions spoke louder. Sarah acknowledging my clinic work publicly. My sister's a hero to her patients. Pride swelled, mingled with humility. Evening brought a family circle around the fire pit. Stars overhead. Uncle Ray prompted sharing. What we've learned. Sarah spoke first. I took family for granted. Sorry for the hurt. Her vulnerability cracked me open. Sobs escaped. Not from pain, but overwhelming relief. I forgive you, I said. And myself. For holding on too long. The kids watched, absorbing the lesson. Conflicts resolved through empathy, not erasure. Jack whispered. Families fix things. His innocence amplified my emotions. A tidal wave of love and hope. Later, alone under the Milky Way, I reflected. Pain sculpted us, but grace redefined. Journaling that night. In the American West, we endure storms, dust or emotional. The light lesson? Belonging blooms from mutual respect, not obligation. Choose humanity, it heals. Months on, bonds strengthened, regular calls, shared holidays. I started a support group at the community center. Unseen no more, for those feeling excluded. Stories poured out.
Mirroring mine.
Fostering connections. Sarah joined once, sharing her side, vulnerability begetting vulnerability. Emotions, once destructive, now transformative, deep gratitude for the journey. The old post? I left it up. A testament to growth. In forgiving, I found freedom. In sharing, purpose. Family isn't perfect, but with effort, it's redeemable.
And that,
In the vast western expanse, is the truest victory.